I feel like it's 2 down.
Welcome to Reality After Show coverage of the Traitors US Season 2, Episode 6. I'm Jonny Fairplay. I'm joined by Season 1 US traitor, Rachel Reilly, and our special guest. She is not a fucking traitor. It is Janelle Piernzina. Welcome, Janelle. Congrats on not being a fucking traitor.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you for having me on your podcast. So great to see you again.
It's been forever.
Yeah, I know. I think last time I saw you, we were just partying, having so much fun.
We were. That's how we used to do it back in the day. And now we all have kids, and we party on a podcast at 10:35 Eastern time, and anxiously look forward to bed at the conclusion.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, well, thank you so much for being here. This is awesome. Wow. What an episode.
So
Holy moly. Are you kidding me? I thought 2 episodes ago was my favorite episode because I love the build up to the tension of the traitors.
Yeah.
Like I'm all about the build. We talked about it last podcast. Like I like Empire Strikes Back. Like, you know, the culmination on Return of the Jedi was awesome, but just the build to Luke discovering, you know, and like Discovery, I think is huge, especially in episodic reality competition gaming shows.
Yes.
So that was my favorite up until now. And then I thought last week was great. I mean, like I didn't know that I needed you versus Sandra in my life. And holy moly, did you deliver. And Sandra, we had her on. She felt so, she's like, I have pictures with me and her from years and years and years. And I love her. And she was like, she goes, I didn't hear the bitch thing. If I had heard the bitch thing, it would have ended
kept going. It would have kept going.
And she was like, she goes, but I didn't hear that, and I apologized.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. It was like fighting with a sister. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like we love each other, and we're just gonna keep taking jabs.
Yeah, so it was incredible. But I think this is my favorite episode because
mine too. It was so good.
I mean, thought last episode was better, but I mean.
I just heard, like, you know, in Survivor, we have those moments that we claim to be the greatest Survivor moments of all time. And, you know, you have Tony Vlachos in the Spy Shack, and you have Adam trying to play the podium as the idol, and you know, even the proposal with Robin, all this crazy. Some say the grandma lie. Who knows? Who am I to say?
The grandma lie.
So
that was really good, though.
Thank you. Thank you. So, but in Big Brother, this Dan's funeral is amongst the fandom and I'm just like, I'm like, you know, I'm a bigger Janelle and Rachel Reilly stan personally, you know, to each his own.
I mean, the funeral's great, but you know.
Yeah. Dan's funeral works on Big Brother because he's playing with a bunch of dummies. Like, honestly.
They were literally like 21 years old.
Literally. And they were all just like, they were enamored by him because he was their coach.
Yes.
Like, it was like psychological warfare. And then here, Dan's messing with Phaedra. You don't like play with Phaedra.
Oh yeah. So well here we have a 10-year self-imposed retirement. The guy comes out of retirement, and I'm waiting and preparing myself for Dan's funeral part 2. And
no.
How did he pick the wrong target?
Yeah.
I felt like last week I felt it was a bad decision on your, like, I think if you had isolated Dan, maybe the votes, but opening up to with CT and Sandra, I felt you opened the field. So this is just armchair quarterback.
I actually opened up with Dan and then Parvati, and CT and Sandra were like way after.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I thought I was going anyway. Sandra and CT didn't even ask me how I was voting.
Yeah, so that's not a good sign. So you're just like, well, let me just.
You play these games. Like if someone that you've been working with doesn't come to you and say, "Hey, how are the votes looking tonight?" Like, it's you.
So it's like, you know what? Like, let me just. It's scorched earth. Who cares?
Yeah.
Let's make good TV. So with that in mind, kudos. So, but
I do have a theory. Well, I know because I was in the castle, so I do know why Dan went after Phaedra. And it all goes back to, and I haven't rewatched the episodes, and I kind of watched it at a watch party. So maybe I was too, buzzed to notice. Sure. But Dan was really, it all goes back to day 2 in the castle. And actually, day 2 is like day 9 for us, just so you know. But episode 2,
sure.
Dan was in the hot seat, very much so. And he wasn't giving names. He wasn't giving everything. I actually, at the banishment table, said they were trying to vote him out. And I was like, you guys, Dan is a faithful. I believe Dan. He's acting like Dan, like I was totally lying. And they're like, whatever. And he said, you guys, when I shoot my shot, I don't miss. I'm going to be observing. I'm going to be watching. And when I tell a name, this is going to be the traitor that you go after. So that was day 2. And everyone was waiting. That's why we kept asking him for a name.
Yeah.
Okay. Like begging this man, like, just give us this name. And the day that I was banished, I was hoping that I could have that opportunity for him to give me a real traitor name, but he wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know why he would. He should have just given it to me because Phaedra's name was already out there. But he didn't know that. I did, because John and Peter were already talking about it. But we were always like, Dan, when is this name going to come? When is this name? So I think too little, too late, obviously.
Yeah.
It's episode. He should have done it banishments ago to go after her, because everyone would have literally taken her out, because she's part of Bravo and there's a ton of people over there.
Yeah.
Like Trishelle, Bergie, like everyone would have jumped on that and been like, yeah, like we love her to death, but like that's like the most dangerous traitor.
Yeah. Because and if you have Dan the gamer pitching it.
Yeah, like everyone already, like the people that I was working with already knew about Dan and Parvati, but like most people were just like working with them to be like, just don't murder me. Don't murder me.
I'm a shield. Like, I'm a great shield.
Yeah.
Like I literally push people out of the way or arm wrestle a bitch for a shield, but I am a shield.
Yes. Well, the reason I arm wrestled that chick or went after her is I was last to breakfast that day.
And we know what that means.
That means you're up for murder. So I was like, there's no doubt in my mind the night of the
boiled eggs
thing. If I'm coming in last to breakfast, I'm going for a shield. Period.
Yeah. It means no boiled eggs, Janelle. We learned this from Sandra. It means nothing else other than no boiled eggs.
No, I noticed that too. If you're last to breakfast every time, it's like you got to think that you're being.
You have to think.
Yeah. So it's like
Sandra, who watched every season of every language available of Traitors going into Traitors, did not pick up on that.
What? Really?
Is that crazy?
That surprises me. I was always trying to tell people about it. The people I was like, I told it to Bergie. I told it to Peter. I told it to Phaedra. Why my name was up for murder.
Oh, Phaedra. So let's walk through this. This is episode 6, Backstab and Betrayal, and it starts with a look back. Peter told Parv, CT, and Dan that he had the shield, and this was the move of moves. Who knew Peter the pilot would be in the Encyclopedia Brown of the house?
I love it.
I'm for it.
But
I am so sorry.
I feel like if he watched the Traitors, we did that a lot on season 1. We just wouldn't tell people. So I wonder if he picked that up from us, or if that was just like something he learned on his own.
He's never watched Traitors.
He didn't.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Well, I know Peter.
He was really proud of himself for this.
He called like a week before it started. Like he was like, I'm sorry, like I have a job and I'm flying planes. Like I don't. Like he had to like take a leave of absence and do like tons of paperwork for like a week. Like he was called like a week before.
He's the David of Big Brother of Traitors. It's amazing.
I mean, but he was good. He did a good move and he was proud of himself for it. It was great. And I think he executed it efficiently, right? Like we saw last week, we weren't sure, but this week we see he executed the move efficiently.
Yeah, I love it. It makes me
When he
so
made
happy.
that move, though, I was really, really upset with him because he told me about it. And I was like, only tell Parvati, because we knew she was a traitor. So I was like, she's not going to tell she's going to tell the other traitors. And who cares if she does that? Just tell her.
Right.
And he like disagreed with that. And I was like, this is way too risky to tell like multiple people. I don't think you should do that.
Yeah.
But it's still really risky.
Yeah.
I would have gone 2. The 3
Dan
did
and
not work
Parvati.
against Dan and Parvati. I would have told.
You would have told both?
I would have told the 2. I think 3 was risky, but
Yeah.
I appreciate his faith in CT.
Yeah.
I felt like the CT play was the CT tell was a trust more than an expose.
Yeah.
But that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot, right? Like once you tell like one extra and then Kevin just having the knowledge is just like, oh my God, this can go awry so quickly.
Yeah. That's not good.
Yeah. Kevin, yeah.
He's a beautiful man, but holy
He's very beautiful, but like, yes.
Yes. And our final look back at last episode, it ended with Janelle saying, I'm a faithful, you idiot. I'm talking to you, Kev. No, I'm a faithful, you idiots. Sorry, my notes, they run together.
Oh my God.
Episode 6 begins. There was no murder. And I'm like, ooh,
great.
All right. I'm this is a good sign. This is what I wanted to see. It looks like the plan worked. Okay. Kate is the first to breakfast, which means what? She got boiled eggs. Congrats, Kate. Yes. I'm sure it was in her contract. All right. We were talking before we went live. Does Kate need Rachel to be fun?
It's just, I feel like Kate feels kind of awkward right now because there's so much going on in the game and she's not really necessary.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like it's late in the game and it's like, okay, like there's so many relationships established. Like, it's a little odd.
It's like a Fonzie jumped the shark moment.
Yeah. And then I like Kate's sense of humor and she usually makes really great TV, but I feel like she's just off with the comments and the
it's just self-deprecating where it's much better when you're the object of her angst.
And I can admit that.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's like I want Kate to be like full on Kate and it feels like she's not full on Kate. And so that's, I don't know, it's distracting to me. And maybe she's just a mom, like just had the baby and stuff.
When you just have a baby, there's so many hormones and so many things that like you're just not yourself.
Oh, trust me. Oh, I'm not sure if I've ever changed a diaper.
Are you?
I have 2 kids. I'm the king of like, did you hear that? No. I didn't hear anything.
Oh my God.
I know.
Why would I be listening for anything? I'm trying to sleep. You sleep so much better if you don't hear stuff. You should try it because you look like you haven't slept in days. Not you guys, but previously. It's a thing. Okay, so people are looking to Kate for advice, and she's like, I don't even know these people's names.
Yeah,
just like because Sandra explained last episode, I was just like, were you excited to see Kate? Because Kate's just such. I think like. After last season, I'm just like, I want Kate on every single show. Just put her in there. But I feel like I'm learning. I'm just like, you got to put Kate and Rachel, or it's not as good.
Kate,
so, but
she needed to come earlier. She needed to come it's just like the middle of the game is so awkward. Like it's literally the middle of the game. That she came in.
So so Sandra says, we're looking to Kate for advice. I'm just like, why are you looking to Kate for it? But like, did you not understand Kate's role? Like Kate's like, I don't care who the traitor is. Like I just felt last season someone told Kate she doesn't get paid if she quit because if she thought she could, she would have.
Oh, she wrote her name down in the.
No way.
Yes, she wrote her own name down in one of the banishments.
Yes, and I'm a traitor.
Like, she was like, just vote for me. And we were like, okay. And then they're like, sorry, Kate, you can't do that.
I love Kate.
I was like, just let her do it. Let her do it.
So there is it is not a murder. Peter says game on, and as Bergie walks in, Dan looked as though he was about to vomit.
Yeah.
Like as far as gamers and game faces go, this may be the worst.
Isn't he a poker player, or am I getting him?
No,
that's
Boston,
is. That's Boston Rob.
Michelle is.
Michelle. Yeah.
Would you have done that move though, Johnny? If you like, I always tried to trace back like the votes to the murders, writing everything down because I would write everything down every night. Do you think it was a good move of Dan to even go after Bergie? After Bergie voted for him?
No, like I'm a pretty aggressive player. However, having Parvati there as a sounding board when she's like, well, that was obviously a trick. Like, and so to have that sounding board, I think I could have been talked off the ledge there. And it's just like, okay, table that. What's the best option? Because I felt like his tunnel vision just blinded him.
He should have gone for safer murder, like John.
Yeah. John would have been a great murder right there. But I don't want John off my TV.
It's foolproof. If you go after, he should. I mean, technically, like the biggest person is to take out Peter. You should take out Peter, but he's kind of nervous. Like, is he lying? Is he not?
Yeah.
But like a really safe murder would have been John. Like Bergie just doesn't make sense because, like, first of all, Bergie was so vocal about coming after Dan.
Yeah.
And John was just kind of like, "Oh, right, I'm voting with you guys."
Yeah.
I love John so much. Like that guy is so eloquent. I mean, I have never. Oh,
and he talks a lot. They probably
I imagine
that out. I saw them cut it, and I was like, that was probably a 10 to 20-minute speech that he did.
Well, their best of was amazing, and kudos to them. Sandra, Peter reveals that he had a plan, and Sandra goes, "Who did you leak it to?" Sandra's like, "I'm here for the tea, and I am here for Sandra for the tea." Like, it's so weird because this Traitors is not Survivor
or Big Brother
Big Brother. So I don't know which one it lends itself to more. But I feel like this is not Sandra's wheelhouse. No. But I much like her first season of Survivor, I love watching her adapting on the fly because she is.
Yeah.
Like I feel every episode she is getting a little better. I mean, like, she could have been a victim early on. And, fortunately for, the Survivor fandom, she wasn't. But I feel that her grasp of things, like, if you watch Pro Islands, it snowballs towards the end of what is happening. And I feel she's learning this game as she goes, at a pretty good pace.
Pearl Islands is one of my favorite seasons.
Thank you.
The lady that made it to the end with you guys, Lil, what an idiot. God.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't beat me either.
She's just,
what
a great season.
And it premiered January 1st on Netflix. So my DMs are a bunch of millennials that say horrible things about things from 20 years ago. And I'm like, thanks.
Janelle, did you get that when your season of Big Brother premiered?
Like the recent one that's on Netflix? I'm just getting more fans. I'm getting more cameos. Like people are like, "Oh my God, Queen. We just discovered you and we love you." Okay.
Yeah. I get the cameos have increased exponentially, but the who am I blocking today on social media? And all the Jam stands out there. Welcome to the block group today. All right. So CT doesn't react. And I'm like, way to go, CT. Because I could have seen him overreact if he did not get the boiled eggs.
Right.
He does look like he loves some boiled eggs. All right. Dan and Parv do overreact. And I'm like, yes, this is wonderful. This is the episode we wanted. This is happening. This is happening.
Love it.
And Phaedra's like, yeah, I didn't hear any of the info. I don't know. I don't know who was leaked to, but my name's Bennett and I won't in it. And I'm just like, Phaedra, keep playing this game, girl. But
I feel like she played too cool. In my opinion, on this breakfast, that would have stuck. Well, obviously Dan and Poverty would have stuck out, but that also would have stuck out to me because she's like just totally ignored it. So it was like almost like instead of even acknowledging it, like Sandra was like, what happened? Tell me the tea. But like Phaedra was just like ignored it, like she knew about it and was trying to ignore it.
But did Phaedra underreact to everything at breakfast normally anyways? Like I feel like Phaedra's not really a morning person. It was like, yeah, we'll discuss this around 1:45. It's time to chat who's a traitor.
Yeah. I mean, she's just, I think Phaedra's whole thing is she was always just kind of, like very lighthearted, like, oh, ha, like she didn't really give much at the breakfast. So it was very sus to me.
I felt like that was in tune. So it's we have Parv, we have Peter doing interrogations, and Parv tries to push it back on Peter, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't think that's gonna unconvince him it's you.
Yeah, no. Sorry, girl.
Yeah.
Love you, but no.
It's like, no. I would think of another name. I would think Dan and Phaedra would be two names to go for right now. Not are you sure it's not you, Peter?
If I were like, Parvati should have immediately been like, oh, Dan, you like, she should, like, he wouldn't have cared because he knew he was going. Like, I don't know why she kept telling people, I trust Dan. I've been working with Dan. Like, okay, like that's the only person Dan talks to is Parvati.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think people are going to piece together when you say that? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, people are gonna be like, okay, well, perfect. You're a traitor too.
Yeah. Once again, survivors, not traitors.
Yeah. Well, they sneak off into rooms together. I mean, did they do that the whole time, Janelle? It just looks like
constantly.
Yeah.
So, and Dan would never talk to me. He wouldn't be seen. He would never be seen talking to me. He didn't like it. He was like, we can't be seen together, but he would always be fine with like Parvati being seen with him. So I was like, that's why I could never talk game with Dan. He wouldn't talk to me. So yeah, him and Parvati always talked.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So anyway, Dan confronts Peter, and Dan asks Peter if he promises not to feel weird when Dan reveals that he's a faithful, and Peter says, "Yeah, I won't."
So stupid.
I'm just like, what is happening to the greats here? I mean, like, we were literally watching a master class on legends just shitting themselves.
Yeah. I think they got into their head too much because it must be hard to be a traitor because Cody did it. Dan's doing it. Poverty is doing it. Like,
yeah, this is not House of Villains. Like, House of Villains.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like Big Brother is like such a strategy and mental game, whereas like I feel like Traitors is just so social.
Yeah,
like it's so strictly social. Like, and that's why I think the Traitors struggle to play that. Like, Dan never really got in with anyone, and Parvati never got in with anyone. Like, they're not integrating. They don't act like faithfuls. You know what I mean?
And like what you said earlier, Dan said, when he did say a name, it would, like basically we say at the end of the episode, I feel that like the few conversations that Dan did have were with you and with Trishelle and with Parvati and the gamers. Yeah. And I think Trishelle picked up on what you picked up is just like, he said the trait.
Yeah, no, we were waiting because me and Trishelle, that's why we begged him the day of my banishment. We literally begged him. I begged him. I said, Trishelle, you got to get it out of him because we have to get out a different traitor that's not Dan or Parvati.
Yeah.
And John want to go for Dan. And she was like, okay. She tried. She worked him over for like a good 15 minutes. Nothing. I begged him. I was like, Dan, you have to give me a name or one of us is probably going to be up on the chopping block. And he was
like, Dan married?
Yeah.
Okay. Because if Dan's single, if I'm Dan, I'm single, you and Trishelle, like the double assault, like tell me, I'm just like I'm giving you the last four. I'm giving you the last four of my social security number.
No, but we begged him. So Trishelle and I were like, because for the longest time we had been working with Dan and he was like, you guys, I'm going to give you a name. And when I give it, it's going to be the name. And we're like, That's why that whole thing where we're all shouting my banishment, like, give us a fucking name. Like, we were waiting for this name. And when he finally says it, of course, Shichelle's going to be like, that's the other traitor. Like, it has to be, because that's his shot.
Yeah. And then him saying your name the episode before is just
I know. I don't know why I was like,
yeah,
don't say my name, because it's just like, that I'm going to go, and then you're going to look even worse. He should have just went for Phaedra, my banishment. It would have like changed the game, because Peter and John would have.
You might have reacted on that, or you would have reacted on
or
that.
If I would have voted for Phaedra. All of the gamers would have voted Phaedra out. Like, but he wouldn't give us a name. So I was like, okay, like, I know my line I'm in with Peter. We're all going to vote for Dan because the Bravo people are voting for me. Like, we didn't,
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I also didn't understand at this banishment why he didn't go after Sandra more. And he really I feel like I understand what he was doing. Like, if he would have gotten Phaedra out and she was a traitor, then people would trust him more. But I think it's been easier for people to turn on Sandra over Phaedra.
100%. Because she was pushing for the Max vote. She got me and Bergie's vote for that. And we were very sus on that. We were like, why would anyone care? Why would anyone care if Max leaves? Because I didn't know and she was like, vote Max. I was like, okay.
And he just gotten in that fight at the last.
He did make weird faces, and I think Max just makes weird faces.
Well, everyone's like, he looks like he's laughing like he's a villain. I'm like, you guys, that's literally his face.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like. That's just his face.
There's a lot of people that works against in real life.
I would be like sketched out, because he would just go into a room and then leave.
It's like an Eastern European, that's his vibe, you guys.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, the prize pot is at $75,500. Thanks to Janelle going for shields every time.
They don't show all the gold I won. And
I never saw any footage of you throwing gold in the bushes.
Oh, totally. I got gold in the scarecrows. I got gold in the graveyards.
There you go. All right. So this challenge, you have to fire a cannonball by way of a catapult. I'm like, man, this is cool. I'm just like, aren't catapults like really big? Yeah, they are. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And there's ammo boxes with possible shields. We'll get there. And however, no catapult, no shield. And I'm just like, ooh, Peter the pilot, if you're really willing to die on this sword, that catapult doesn't make it there, because I don't want Dan getting a shield.
Yeah.
But you think that would have been a better move?
No, because the most optimal move for Peter at this point
is to get a shield and call it a traitor.
Is to get a shield and get down out.
That's
that's and 20K towards the pot. That what you can possibly get on the last challenge, which huge flaw with the show, because I felt like that's why we got rid of Tell me if I'm wrong, because we're hearing from different people, Janelle. Johnny Bananas is someone that's gonna get the money for you in the dailies.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you guys all under the impression after watching the finale of season 1 going, they're gonna give us the opportunity at the end? We really don't have to keep.
Yeah, we were all like, oh, they're just gonna top it off at the end. It's fine, you guys. Who cares?
There you go.
Yeah.
Flaw with House, and I'm not sitting here casting stones saying what flaw with House of Villains. Why is the greatest villain the friendliest person in the house?
Yeah,
horrible. It's not the best. It's not the greatest villain. The friendliest person.
Wait, so you wanted Omarosa to win?
She was the greatest villain.
She was. She was good.
Ask NBC Universal Legal. Ask if that tambourine really hit her or not. Just saying. All right, so Kate is redoing her hill challenge. This was not as fun as the first time. I enjoyed her watching throwing money in the bushes. The river current is very strong, and we almost see Sandra drown trying to help Cherie. And I'm just like, God bless you, Sandra, for trying. And Trichelle's just like, yeah, I will drown, and I'm getting a shield.
Yeah.
That
river current is really strong. That river current, it's no joke.
Yeah.
It is one of the strongest river currents I had been in ever.
And Kevin didn't understand this play, and I'm just like, Kevin, there's a lot of things in this game you don't understand. So just add it to the list. So, but he's a very beautiful man.
Yes.
Yes.
I listen, Janelle. I try to be mean. I try to be nice. It's a balancing act.
It's balance.
Yes. Okay. So Trishelle gets an ammo box. Peter gets an ammo box. Cherie gets an ammo box. Sandra gets an ammo box. I'm like, good for you, Sandra. Parvati gets one. I'm like, okay. This is, So we come to the placement of the ammo boxes. Kate is carrying Peter's ammo box for him. She's contemplating putting his ammo box on the hay. And I'm just like, I don't love it as a Peter the Pilot fan, because, I'm just like, oh my God, he's worked so hard for this. And then, to have it. However, TV wise, I love Kate putting the box down and Peter the Pilot not getting the shot for the shield. That's so much better.
That's like a Kate move.
It would have made her look like a traitor.
But it's a Kate move.
It's a Kate move.
Yeah.
And once again, I don't think Kate cares if she gets voted. Like, I feel like she feels like she gets paid the same.
Yeah.
She's just like, oh, one and done. Sweet. Get me out of here. So, anyway, John gets to pull the catapult, and holy moly, is he so happy. This is like getting the G.I. Joe Super Destroyer ship for Christmas when you're 10 years old. It is everything that he could wish for and more. And I'm just like, wow, John has never been to a strip club. Anyway, 20,000 for the for the people who remain in the game. We are up to 95.5. And so it's more catapult pulling. It never ends. And Cherie gets the shield. And I know there's a lot of people going, oh, does this mean Peter's gone? I'm just like, I feel like
it's so annoying. It's like the one person that doesn't need it.
Yes.
The one thing she's done so far in the game, the only thing she's done.
So, but I'm sitting here going, I feel like there could be some kind of twist. And I'm just like, oh, there will be. Okay, great. All right. In the car ride home from the challenge, Kevin asked if Dan is still on the chopping block, and everyone's like, yes, stupid Kevin. And he goes, but he hasn't done anything. And they're like, that's why he's on the chopping block, stupid Kevin.
Poor Kevin.
Oh, so Peter's enjoying his last meal, allegedly. And Parvati is trying to do the shift of blame. And I'm like, okay. And then Dan explains they came out of retirement after a decade for this roundtable moment. I'm just like, okay, this better be good.
Yeah.
And he is shooting his shot.
Yeah. He overshot.
The buildup is great. Since day one, he's been watching one person.
It's too late to do it, but I like it because it's what he's been telling everyone that he was going to do.
Yeah,
he was going to give us a traitor.
One episode too late. He does this last episode. This is effective. This is one episode too. Like, this guy of all people should understand timing in a reality game show.
Yeah.
And he was playing too slow. He was playing Big Brother. He was like trying to do this slow thing where it's like, dude, if you would have given us Phaedra's name, you would have gotten Kevin's trust. You would have gotten like tons of trust. All these people that are kind of like just very neutral at this point. All right. Dan doesn't really have anyone. Like, he can get Kevin. He can totally get Kevin to trust him.
He makes that move last week.
You got to give Kevin a taste of real blood. He
makes that move last week. Calls out Phaedra. The Gamers Alliance jumps on Phaedra.
100%.
Okay. Phaedra goes, you got a traitor. Who does Dan and Parvati pull in? You or Sandra? Or do they go?
They're going to still go Pilot Pete.
Pilot Pete?
Yeah.
Bring in to the traitors?
I would think so.
I don't get that. Maybe we're not seeing something, but I don't see it.
Because they want that intel. They're going to see that alliance is so strong. Like, it's so obvious in the game. They're going to want.
So obvious that he is never going to turn on that alliance. Like, there's certain people that when I was playing the game, I would be like, they are never going to recruit, you recruit them. They're never going to turn on us. But then there's certain people where you're like, okay, they'll probably come and be a traitor because they're here to play the game. But like Pilot Pete, it just like doesn't.
He doesn't give off the vibe. Like, he would never, like, he's so loyal. He's not going to be like, yeah.
he's there because he wants to be this good guy. Like he's not there to be a gamer and win. I mean, he's there to win, but he's like there to be a good guy.
He wants to win it by doing it the right way.
He wants to do it the right way. He's going to be true to himself, and he's not going to lie to do it.
Exactly.
Okay, so if they don't choose Pilot Pete, are they choosing you or Sandra?
I don't think they would.
Neither one? You guys are just
the ones that give them all the
shields?
information. I think they would go for like a Bergie, just because he would just crap himself if he was a traitor.
Oh God, he would literally like.
It would be someone from that group. It would be someone from that little posse.
Then it would have to be Trishelle or CT.
Trishelle would be a great move because
because Trishelle would be all one, and she would manipulate Bergie and Peter the Pilot.
Because Trishelle has lots of friends. They would be looking for someone that has. Because Dan and Parvati didn't have like friends, like they don't have.
Well, Phaedra told us every meeting in the torrent that no one liked Parvati, and I was like, oh wow, you read my notes.
Yeah, the way the show edits it, I mean, Parvati's name was thrown out by Larsa. Parvati's name was thrown out by me. Her name was laid on the table before, like, So
she's not like that anymore. She doesn't lay on what.
What's that?
I was making a joke.
But yeah, I think Phaedra's thing with saying that was she was saying people don't like you. Yeah. I liked her. Trishelle likes Parvati in the game, but she doesn't.
I love the qualifiers.
She didn't have like a ton of friends, I would say.
Yeah. I think Trishelle would have been the
safe bet because they still they can keep me and Sandra in there as like little pawns, like for them, I guess, or whatever.
Well, even at the end of this episode, I'm shocked how it ends because I think Trishelle again would have been the smart move, how the game has come down to it. Because again, Peter's not going to ever turn on his like group.
Never.
We'll see.
We'll see. You're going to see, but he's so like, he reminds me of like literally Quesarita from like my OG alliance in season 6. That was like a leader. And he was like, that's it. We're going to go after the bad guys and we're going to do it with class and we're going to be straight up players. Like,
and they're like, see, Quesar.
Like, he's like the nice jock, you guys. Yes. Like he's not going to turn.
Yeah. And I feel like he, after playing with the traitors playing with the faithfuls the whole time, you do develop this relationship where you have to be a gamer to turn on the faithfuls and become a traitor. Because
I think if Peter the Pilot watched season 1, he goes traitor.
No, because Ari like leaves at the end. It didn't do any good for Ari.
Yeah, well, no, but I think he could have seen the fun of it. Like, I feel he looks at the traitors as just bad guys, and he doesn't want to be a bad guy.
He does look at us as bad. He even says, I think I remember watching him when Dan was interviewing people to be recruited. Peter tells him, thank God I'm not a traitor. I wouldn't want to be a traitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I think if he had seen Sari, I think he would have been like, oh, wow, Sari was likable.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I just feel like I wouldn't have gotten that vibe from him.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I just feel it's a little more likely for him to say yes if he had seen that good people could be traitors.
Maybe.
I don't even think it's a thing he thinks good or bad. I think he's so fixated on the faithfuls winning at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he wants a faithful to win. He doesn't.
God bless him.
A faithful's winning. He's going to go down fighting to the bitter ends.
Right.
Period.
And he's like putting himself out there.
Totally.
And to get out Parvati. And he's like planting seeds. He's like, he's very proud of his moves he's making.
Yeah. So he loves it.
Yeah, he loves it. It just doesn't make sense to me that they would think he would ever turn, which is surprising because Parvati, again, is supposed to be this gamer.
Yeah. And so Shell was the pick.
Yeah. And I don't understand where she's going wrong because she's just not like she plays.
Well, I think she's shook.
Better.
She's shook from I think Phaedra and Parvati are shook from that round table because everything that could go wrong went wrong.
Yeah, I agree, and I just don't. I think Parvati's best move at this point is to recruit Trishelle because Trishelle is her friend, will not turn on her. And Trishelle has intel. She's
All the guys.
social. Everyone
would love to be a traitor.
Everyone trusts Trishelle. Everyone. So she's got the same kind of, status in the game as the most faithful of faithfuls.
Yeah.
And she would love to be a traitor.
Yeah.
Trichelle's a gamer. She would love it.
Yeah. So, well, Dan's the roundtable starts. Dan says, "Raise your hand if you've had your name written down." And I was just like, "Wow, this is like we're really getting Dan's funeral part 2. Like we're getting the whole thing."
I know.
And my fiance's watching, and she was just like, "Wow, this is quite." And it ends like a fart in church. She was just like, "No," and I'm just like, "Yeah." Phaedra's just like, "No." No, it's you.
It's literally you.
I'm like, wow, that was not that was quite the build up for that.
Dan did not realize that his opponent was so she's just so good. She's a lawyer. I mean, I don't know where
lawyer.
Yes. I don't know where he misstepped because he literally going after Phaedra was the dumbest thing he could have done in this moment.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't going to go after Parvati. He was loyal to her to a certain.
That's the problem.
Yeah, but the finish with is just like, hey, she was a little extra, and Kate's like, yeah, she's a housewife. She is a little extra. They're not actors.
Yeah.
Trust me. We've established they're not actors. Right. They're just a little extra.
Yeah.
So Peter sticking to his guns, and God bless him for it. He goes, "Hey, real quick, Dan just shit himself. We all caught that. So let's just establish that. However, please acknowledge that Parv is trying to separate and don't fall."
I love it. I go, Peter, go.
I'm just like, Peter, you are here for everyone. What? I love the bad guys, but
you love the good guys that call them out too.
Yeah.
So it's good gameplay. It's okay,
Yeah, when you shit yourself, I gotta, I'm not holding your hand. You shit yourself. It's just hey man, you want to change underwear? No, you got the stinky underwear. I'm keeping the clean underwear over here. So yeah, so Dan is the silent slaughterer, according to
the silent slaughterer.
According to John. John's speech was is like, please do not get rid of this guy anytime. I don't need a storyline with John, but I want 2 sound bites per episode with John.
Yeah,
he's so fun.
So yes.
He's so sweet, such a sweet man.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna believe this, guys. Dan was indeed a traitor. It was you were not the fucking traitor, Janelle. It was Dan.
You're the fucking traitor, bitch.
He was the fucking traitor, and Phaedra shredded him.
Yeah.
Game recognized game.
I mean, he did what he had to do. I think he was late on doing that.
Yeah. Wow. Game is completely different. He does it 1 week or 1 episode.
Me and Trishelle would have been so down. We would have had enough votes too.
Yeah.
Do you think if he did go after Sandra in this roundtable, he saves himself, or is he still going?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Sandra was the only people that suspect Sandra was literally me and Bergie at this point. And the only reason I thought it was Sandra was because I literally thought I had struck a nerve with her. She was so protective of Dan and Parvati. And she said something like, we had your back, girl. And I was like, I thought she meant me, you, Parvati, and Dan had your back. And I was like, well, they're traitors. What are you saying?
Okay.
So I thought she was dangling in front of my head, a little cat and mouse thing. Are you serious?
Yeah.
And when we were fighting, I felt like I had really struck a nerve. I mean, I just don't know Sandra like that, but I thought I had struck a nerve. So I thought she must be a traitor. So when I did my exit interviews, I was like, Dan, Parvati, Sandra, maybe CT.
So Trishelle now thinks that Dan fed a faithful traitor.
She knows it because she's he's been telling her, I'm gonna give it to you, Trishelle. I'm gonna throw you a scrap.
Yeah. Does Phaedra know that Dan was gonna do this as a parting shot? So she's just like, this fucking guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally pissed.
Because she seemed like
bad.
In the turret, she like she's holding it together, but it appears as though she's losing her mind. She was like, this motherfucker.
When she was drinking her wine, she was like losing her mind.
Oh, she was so upset.
Yeah.
And Parvati's so upset because they're like, dude, everyone's got their name. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, we're gonna die.
Yeah.
So well, it's a secret meeting of the most faithful of the faithful, and Parvati has to call that out. It's just like, yeah, we're just figuring out.
Sorry, Parvati, you're not invited.
We're just trying to figure out how to spell Parvati, and Sandra's figuring out how to pronounce it. So there's that, and along with Rachel. I just read the comments, Rachel. I don't know.
Am I pronouncing it incorrectly? I thought
every other time it's fine. So Phaedra's pissed, and Alan says, "Hey, plot twist." I'm like, who did not see this coming? You have the option to recruit or murder, and but if you do recruit, they can refuse. And at this point, Parvati says she would like to seduce Peter and also recruit him. And I was like, oh, all right. Oh no, sorry. I just wrote that down twice. My bad. My notes, they get silly sometimes, girls. Just the old Parvati joke. Anyway, so Peter is there. He gets the invite, and will we watch Peter murder his friends? I feel like no, right?
No, there's no way.
Like, I feel like it's really, really, and I love Parvati so much. She's like such my queen, but like, that's like such a bad read.
Yeah.
Because like, if you understand people's personalities, like he's not really like that.
Yeah. I feel like that was an emotion. Like I don't know how much time they had, but you did hear Alan go, you have moments to decide. And he's so dramatic. Okay. And they are flustered beyond all get out from the round table, and deservedly so.
Yeah.
And then you have Alan going, you have moments, and I'm sure that just builds it, even if it's just TV bullshit.
They're probably logically thinking Peter can turn this around for us. If we recruit Peter, he can get those 5 votes. We got 5 votes. We can save each other. He can turn this around for us.
Right. But they just have a bad read.
Yeah.
But it's so weird that she has that bad of a read. But even with Phaedra, I don't think Phaedra is encouraging it. Like, it doesn't seem like Phaedra's like,
she's shook too.
She is. But I think it's like, I
think they're both just ridiculously, and they once again, deservedly so. If I'm the two of them, I'm shook. I mean, like, watch House of Villains. I'm one of the greatest strategists in the history of reality television. I tell you every other segment.
Yeah.
So I would be shook in this moment. I'd be like, am I fucking up here? And like your brain is not, there's no way. So I'm giving a pass, but I think we can all collectively armchair quarterback say Trishelle is such the move right here.
Yeah. Trishelle.
Totally.
Yeah.
She's like the same puzzle piece as Peter, that she can get those votes for you. She can turn it around for you. And she would probably say yes.
Yeah.
She would probably say yes. And she once again, she wanted to be a traitor.
Yeah.
She wasn't a traitor.
And she's kind of friends with Parvati too. So Parvati, out of the castle, I would think she could trust Trishelle the most.
Yeah. So, and she's a poker player.
Yeah.
So I think Trishelle would say yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think Trishelle would love destroying her friend group of John, Bergie, Kevin, it would just be so satisfying. Like, just satisfying the quench for blood. Like, I just want it. However, I feel she would give Parvati the "I'll do what I can and nothing more" promise.
Yeah.
Because
that might work though.
You should offer nothing more because Trishelle's name or Parvati's name is out there. There's like if you go full on, like let me protect you, you're next.
Then it's kind of like, wait, why are you protecting Parvati?
Well, they like come up with a plan with Trishelle on their side to blame it all on Peter
or Phaedra. They could switch it up and they could get Phaedra out.
Yeah, go Phaedra, and then
because that would save Parvati. She could at least last longer in the game.
Yeah. So,
but then
I don't see an end game for Parvati.
No. Well, what if they decide to murder? So they murder. Do they murder Peter? Is that the obvious choice? If they,
I think their best move is to murder. They shouldn't even recruit, because if you think about it, they've just missed a murder. A traitor got banished, and if they miss a recruitment, that's 3 in a row. I mean, they're just not at this point playing a very good game, I wouldn't think. But
which is fun for the viewers,
right? It's fun for watch. But do you think
it's fun to watch the traitors go down? It totally is. And I'm not saying that because I was a faithful. I'm just saying as a viewer, it is kind of
as a non-fucking traitor.
Yeah. And do they
non-fucking traitor?
It's better for them to murder a Peter because it's so obvious and he's so on to them.
He's so on to them, and he's a leader. So you're kind of taking
the head off the
snake.
Yeah. we think very
and
similar.
Then do they so then in that case Parvati goes the next banishment probably, right? So it's like she's obviously going. So then is Phaedra, what is she gonna, I mean, is it gonna be Phaedra as the lone traitor? You know, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I know the devil's more advocates, but
the thing is there's still alliances. The Gamers Alliance is still a thing, even though it's on the show. Like, if I were a gamer in that alliance, I'd be like, there's so many fucking Bravo people. I would always be like, I want to keep Parvati in this for as long as I can, because I know that, like, if I help her a little bit, it could save me a night or two or whatever.
And we know Trishelle knows that Phaedra is the other traitor.
Right. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
So they get out so you think they get out Phaedra instead of her?
If I were a gamer in that situation, I would absolutely be gunning for Phaedra.
Yeah, if I'm in the Gamers Alliance, I'm
gunning for Phaedra because there's too many Bravo people in that house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're hoping that Parv recruits you, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing they could think of, right?
Yeah. I mean,
because then at that point, they know that she's getting recruited, and then it becomes a thing of like the traitors are just going to have to keep playing catch up the rest of the game.
They're going to have to play catch up because they've missed some serious blood here.
Yeah.
They're bleeding. They're running into, we've shot them. They're wounded.
Oh yeah.
They're whimpering.
Yeah.
This is like
about the hospital comment. That was very on.
This is the last movie of Twilight right here. We got Jacob's hurt.
Yeah.
The other one. I don't know why I went with the Twilight reference, because I really don't know anything about any of them. I just know there's a wolf, and I just felt the bleeding. So there's there we have it. So Janelle, thank you so much.
Yes.
This is quite impromptu. Once again, I am on a plane for Australia in hours, so we wanted to sneak this out, and I
so
appreciate your time.
Because I can't even do it next week. Like we're doing like press stuff. I'm traveling, and it's just a lot.
Insanity. And Trishelle will be back the following week, and she will tell us if she really if she really knows, because that's one of the questions in the comments. So we shall see. Rachel Reilly, we love you. We miss you. Seeing Kate without you, we really miss you.
I know.
Yeah.
Who knew?
I know. And there's no community theater outfits this season. I mean, come on, guys.
Yes.
Community theater.
Yes. Janelle, where can we find you on social media?
Janelle Piernzina, Twitter, Instagram. That's pretty much the only two I'm on. So
get one of those Valentine's cameos. You do a good Valentine's cameo.
I will.
Yes. So Rachel Reilly, where can we find you?
Rachel E. Reilly V, I guess. Twitter, Instagram, Threads. I'm threading a lot. I have been trying to up my Threads game.
Oh, I did Blue Sky yesterday.
What's that?
It was something that didn't. They sent me an invite like 3 months ago, and I was like, oh yeah, blue sky. Let me see. And there's like 12 people there. It's horrible. It's supposed to be. Who knows?
It sounds like Friendster. Do you remember Friendster?
Yes, it's the people left on Friendster. They just changed the name, and exactly. So we're gonna go on LimeWire later and get the new Metallica. It's gonna be great. I'm at Jonny Fairplay on all the socials. Go to JonnyFairplay.com to get your t-shirt, join the Patreon, get a cameo, all the things. Go to survivortix.com.au to see me live February 5th, 6th, and 7th. I'll be in Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane. And thank you, everyone. This has been so fun. And I'm going to bed because I have a 25-hour flight tomorrow. Yes. And heaven forbid I sleep on there, which would be great. But I did not get the indica edibles I was looking for. Okay, so with that, thank you, everyone. Until next time.